The missing dimension, this is a right angle, which means we can use Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The most important thing to note here is that c is the hypotenuse, meaning it's 26. The angle opposite the right angle here is always the hypotenuse. The other two legs, it doesn't matter which one's a and which one's b. Just choose one. You'll get the same thing both ways. Okay, to get b by itself, I'm going to first square everything. We get 100 plus b squared, 26. I do not know that off the top of my head. 676. Now to get b squared by itself, I'm going to first subtract 100. B squared equals 576. And then we need to take the square root. Technically, when you take a square root, you need to consider the positive and negative versions of it. But here we're talking about a distance, and a distance is always positive. So we only care about the positive square root of 576. Oh, which is 24. Hey, I didn't know that was a Pythagorean triple. 24. This is in feet. All the side links are in feet, so it's going to be feet as well. Find the missing dimension of the figure shown at the right. Oh, okay. Okay. So this triangle, 6 inches, and then this is x. This is a right triangle, and it tells us that the area equals 15 inches squared. Right there at the bottom. And we can use the area of a triangle. If you don't remember, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. It's just half of a square pretty much, or I should say a rectangle. And this one, you can see that we have a right angle, which means we can use the right angle as one side being the base, the other side being the height. It doesn't actually matter which one's which, but just name one. So I'm going to use 6 as the base because it's on the bottom. So the area of a triangle, which we know is 15 inches squared, equals 1/2 the base times the height. 1/2 times x is 3. And we just need to divide by 3. That gives us 5. So x equals 5. And 6 was in inches, so we're going to use inches as well. Again, a distance is a single, it's just inches. An area is inches squared. A volume would be inches cubed. That's a three-dimensional number. Okay, find the missing quantities. We don't know the radius, but we do know the diameter and the circumference. So we know this length here is 12.2, which means the radius is going to be half of that, 6.1. Radius is always half the diameter, so 6.1, 0.1, and this is in meters because the diameter is in meters. The circumference is the area on the outside of that. There's two formulas for that. The circumference equals pi times diameter, and circumference also equals 2 pi times the radius. That's because 2 times the radius is the diameter. It's the same formula, but it's using different things. So I'm going to use the first one. Pi is 3.14, or no, it says use the pi key for pi. So it doesn't want just 3.14, it wants a more accurate representation. 12.2 times the pi key, I get 74307, and it would continue. And it says round to the nearest tenth. The nearest tenth is going to be this 3 here, so it's going to be 38.3. And circumference is the same thing as a perimeter, but for circles. So it's a one-dimensional unit, meaning it's going to be meters, not meters squared. Okay, last problem. Find the circumference of the area, find the circumference and area if we know the diameter. This is 2.8 centimeters. Now, to find the area, we need to know the radius. The radius is going to be 1.4 centimeters. It's just half the diameter. Okay, the circumference equals, I'm going to use 2 pi r this time. It's the same. And once again says use the pi key for pi. So 2 pi times 1.4. That gives me approximately approximately 8.79645 and so on. And the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So pi times the radius squared gives us 6.1575216, and it continues. Okay, it says round the nearest tenth for the circumference. That's going to be to the 7. 9 is greater than 1, which means we're going to round that up to 8.8. And circumference is a like perimeter, just a linear unit, so it's going to be centimeters. The area is going to be rounded to the nearest tenth, so 6.2, because this 5 is greater than, well, it's 5 or greater, so we're going to round up. 6.2. Area is in squared units. It's 2-dimensional.